Hey everyone, so in today's video we are going to be talking about the Allure Best of Beauty for 2022. I have like an insane amount of product in front of me right now because I wanted to go through all of the products that I had on hand that were mentioned in the Allure Best of Beauty and put them on my face. And there are actually I have multiple products for multiple categories, so it's not going to be like everything, but I'm going to make sure that I talk about every single product that I have in front of me right now. There are some picks that I was so confused about, and then other picks that definitely made sense to me. Last year, I just reacted to the Best of Beauty, but I thought it would be much more helpful if I actually put products on my face. So that is what we're doing right now. So I'm first starting off with a reader's favorite, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum. And I'm going to be using this to prep my skin today. This is just a little mini. Just going to get some hydration onto the skin. This is actually the only product that I'm going to be using today that I have not used myself. So take with that what you will. Does have a fragrance to it. I know folks really like this one. It does have limonene, citronella. Oh, it has a lot of fragrance. I'm just gonna say skip this. Like, you can get a great emulsion product like this that does not have that fragrance that could potentially mess with your skin. Like, I feel like my skin, like, right now isn't even liking that. Like, I don't know. This video is off to a weird start, but I'm taking this off. I don't want it on my skin. Starting off this video a little bit weird, but I am using my Peach Slices Snail Rescue Blemish Busting Toner. It is just a snail mucin essence toner. And I am taking that right off because my skin does not need a reason to be irritated. I am already purging from my tretinoin, which is to be expected, but it is my job to give my skin the best fighting chance and treat it kindly. And I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say, this magic serum, I could have sworn that the magic cream didn't have all that fragrance. Now, there were two different base foundations that I saw mentioned on Allure, and this was really surprising in like the best way. Both the Kosas Revealer Foundation, which is a holy grail, and the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, both of these were mentioned, and I absolutely love both. I think for tonight, I'm going to go with the Kosas just because you guys know how much I love it. But if you want a really lightweight, but still beautifully perfecting medium coverage, thin on the skin, all of the above, this is a very good one. I really love it, and I was happy to see that this was mentioned. But we are going to go ahead with the Kosas. I'm using the shade 110. I just love the finish of it. My skin always looks really glowy and pretty when I have this on. I feel like they've called this in the past like a skin-loving foundation, and I literally could not agree more. My skin really likes having this on. It's hydrating, and it feels like my skin can still breathe. If I could, pick out one foundation from this year, that I discovered this year that I think will certainly be mentioned in my Best of Beauty for 2022, well, I definitely know that you will be seeing this. So now for concealer, they did mention a concealer that I have used, which is the Honest Beauty Flex Concealer. I do not have that one, but I have tried it. So I'm gonna tell you about that one as I apply my Kosas Revealer Concealer. The Honest Beauty wasn't bad. You know what I mean? Like, I try a lot of concealers, and I am fully aware that a lot of them aren't bad. It was not super drying looking. It had decent coverage, but it just didn't wow me. Now, the Reader's Choice Award concealer pick did not surprise me. It was the Maybelline Age Rewind, which I feel like all of us know by now that that is a really good concealer, and I actually used to use that one quite a bit. I feel like for me, eventually it just got too drying for my eyes, but very thinly under the eyes, I do actually really like that pick. Now for bronzer, there were a bunch of different bronzer picks, so I want to talk about all of them. I was actually really surprised with how many they picked for the base. They did talk about, a contour. The Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. This did win for contour, so I figured I would contour with it. I have not used this in a while, and it's good. I mean, I think it is quite good. It's really buildable, which I like, but I don't know if it's, you know, incredible. Certainly really natural and pretty, but you see how it kind of, it's almost too subtle for me. I don't know, I feel like you have to use a lot of it. It looks good, blendable, natural, but you know, not really long wearing and very sheer. So I guess, you know, it just depends on what you're looking for. If that sounds good to you, and you're into that really sheer look, I do actually recommend this one. But now there were two potted cream bronzer picks. The one from Say, which is the Say Sun Melt, as well as the Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream that I know a lot of us have heard of. First of all, I'm not surprised that this was picked, but at the same time, I talked about this before, I just don't understand the hype with this product. I tried it out years ago, and I had just heard so many incredible things about this. Like, every celebrity makeup artist used it. I had always had a feeling that I would be a fan of a cream bronzer of this sort, but unfortunately, the blend is just not there, you guys. My skin, it doesn't stick to my skin, and it's not a really creamy, natural looking blend on me. No matter what shade. I mean, the original shade was also very orange. In general, I don't know what to say about it other than I don't think that it is worth the money. The Say, I think, is what I was hoping the Chanel to be, so I do recommend this one. This is the shade Light. And I do think that this is a product worth looking into. You can see, you know, I've obviously used this one a lot more than the other. It is, oh, I feel like I put on a lot there. It's just one of those bronzers that wants to work with you. You can really press it into the skin and get that seamless blend that we're all looking for without worrying about it getting choppy on you. Looking heavy on the skin. So I'm just going ahead and pressing this in. Feel like it's worth mentioning, even though I mention it quite a lot, that if you have not tried pressing in your cream products, I highly, highly recommend it. But we still have two more bronzing products that were also mentioned. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Powder Bronzer with dog hair on it. This bronzer, you guys, is so beautiful. I was so happy to see this. And I think I'm going to take some on the face just to set everything. I love it. I think it's so beautifully smooth. It's buildable. It's blendable. It is a good one. And there are a lot of shades. It's available at the drugstore. The list goes on. I'm very, very happy with this one. And I was really happy to see this one mentioned. I want more people to even talk about it, I feel like. Because this, I think, is one of the best L'Oreal launches in a while. And lastly, I won't apply it today, but I do really love it. It is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Stick. And this is in the shade Light. I do have the shade Light Medium. But I love this bronzer too. It's actually one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, why is my nose so itchy? Do you guys ever get an itchy nose and you're just like, patting because you don't want to like mess up your makeup. But yeah, you guys, this is definitely one of the best bronzing sticks that I've ever used. It stays where you place it, but it's still very blendable. It's long wearing. And I feel like just this year is when it started to gain traction, which I guess is why, even though it was released last year, it's being mentioned for 2022. It's been sold out like for forever. It's a very, very good one though, so I definitely understand the award that is going to this one. Now for blush, I have a couple of picks. Oh, I forgot to mention this. This is one of the other foundations that did win an award, and this is the Westman Atelier Vital Skin Stick. This is the shade 2. I haven't used the shade 2, but I think that, yeah, that one is probably a better match for me. I used the shade 3 during the summer, and I know that this is expensive, but it is, I think, the best stick foundation that I've ever used. It is luxurious and so skin-like on the skin without being very flat. It blends really easily, and I just love how creamy the look is while still being very lightweight. Really easy to just scribble on the skin. Like, I just feel like this is really good bougie no makeup that you can still get some good coverage out of. And I feel like that's kind of Westman Atelier's vibe. So yeah, I guess they definitely did a good job with the formula. Again, it's expensive, but is it luxurious and a good product? In my opinion, yes. Do you get a ton of product? No. So that is like, this one definitely has some pros and cons to it. Now for blush, I have a couple of options here. I have the Cheek Clapper from One Size because this was given an award. This is the shade Rich Betch. And then I also have the Rare Beauty Liquid Blushes. And I feel like this is a never-ending bag of items. There's also the Merit Cheek Color, the Flush Balm, and then this is the shade Mood. I think just to go with my eye look, I want to use something a little bit more neutral to cool toned. So I'm going to use the shade Encourage from Rare Beauty. And just using one dot on each cheek. I certainly understand why this blush from Rare Beauty has made waves the way that it has. I feel like it's even more popular now than it was at the beginning of its launch. And I've always really loved it. Since the initial launch, I loved this formula. And I think that if you really want that long wearing blush that you only need a little bit, it's going to last you a long time. It's decently priced. There are a lot of different colors. It blends with a lot of other textures as well. I mean, it checks a lot of boxes. And personally, for me, I think that they are worth the hype. I am a big fan. I have a ton of them. And I love that you have that option of having a matte formula or the glowy. So really, I feel like Rare Beauty kind of thought of it all with that product. Is it very pigmented and some people overuse it? Yes. I think that rich pigmentation is what kind of sets that product apart from other liquid blushes out there. As for the Merit Cheek Color, the Flush Balm, I need another shade because I feel like I really love this. I think I'm gonna add just a touch of it. I really like it. I think that it kind of sets down on the skin in a really pretty way. It doesn't remain like super tacky or dewy. So I need to try the shade Terracotta. Yeah, I feel like it's about time that I picked up that one. And as for the Cheek Clapper from One Size, I have talked about this before. Ooh, that is dirty. It's kind of a polarizing product for me because I really like it, but I just find that it is a little bit more difficult to work with because of the texture and pigmentation combination. So this cream is actually more of a soft matte kind of silicone texture, which I actually think that this shade in particular blends pretty easily, but the Freaky Peach, I think it's called, that one was not very blendable. This matte blush is insanely pigmented. Like, I'm just gonna do this. I'm not even tapping, and look at how much pigment just from that came off. Like, and that was just like a press. It is almost, It almost feels like a matte eyeshadow. And then I don't think that the toppers are very flattering. I was so excited about this launch, and I do think that Rich Betch is pretty, and I have made this work before. And as like an all over monochromatic look with a very light hand, I can make it work, and I do think that it's really, I mean, it's a freaking stunning color. I mean, I'm absolutely obsessed with the color, but you know, most days I just want to be quick. I don't want to have to fuss, you know, and have a product work against me. So I understand why I got the award. Like, again, I really like the concept, but in practice, I found it a little bit more difficult to use. Now, getting on into the eyes. This was an interesting one. Tom Ford, the Tom Ford Quads one. And honestly, am I surprised? So I have two. I have the Suspicion palette, and then I have Nude Dip, which is like the iconic kind of palette from Tom Ford. I've talked about this before. I just think that there's something missing. I like that it's a little bit more of those washes of color, both wet and dry. It kind of washes out and gives you this really pretty, very soft metallic. I appreciate it, but for the price, I just can't say that it's my favorite. And as far as like the eye category, I was surprised that there weren't more eyeshadows mentioned. It was just like these. And honestly, I'm not going to apply them. And I'm going to apply a new shadow that I just talked about in a recent video. It is the Hypnotizing Pop Shot from Charlotte Tilbury. And this is the shade Smoky Quartz. And oh my gosh, I love it a lot. I actually saw there were quite a few comments talking about the price point of this one, and I would never, I feel like I have hair all over me today. I would never sit here and say that this is not an expensive product. And I even mentioned in that video that it's expensive. It's $34 for one eyeshadow. I would much rather spend $34 on one eyeshadow that is absolutely perfect and right up my alley the way that this one is. But just, I love everything about this one. It just applies so perfectly. The shine is incredible. You get a ton of pigmentation and shine and that wet effect just with like a brush, which is not always the case. Ultimately, when you're purchasing a single shadow, I feel like the shade is really important. And this shade has just called to me from the moment that I saw it, and I'm so happy that I picked it up. I'm gonna kind of wing this one out today. I mean, look at that. So pretty. But I know I shouldn't be talking about this because this wasn't an award winner, but it is an award winner in my eyes because this is one of those single shadows that I know I'm not gonna be able to put down this fall and winter and just all the time. Now for mascara, there were two different picks that I have on hand. So there was the MAC Stack mascara. I have tried this one out, as well as the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. And this is a newer launch, so I was really surprised to see this being mentioned. But I was really happy to see it mentioned because as far as new launch mascaras for this year, this is certainly insanely impressive, and I do prefer it to the MAC Stack. The MAC Stack is a little bit more of a vavoom, long, elongated, I don't know, it's not spidery, but it does look more spidery than the Tower 28. And let me explain how the Tower 28 looks just by showing you. It is so buildable that you're able to get such a dramatic look that still doesn't go chunky on you. It is like an absolute delight to wear. I have only been wearing this pretty much since I picked it up. I know it's sold out everywhere, which is really annoying, I'm sure, for those of you that want to try it out. I'll try to find out where it is, if it is in stock anywhere, and leave a link to it down below. But oh my god. I mean, you can see I'm just like going to town, and it's not getting spidery. It's just wisping out and creating this really gorgeous, like, you know, lash extension kind of look. And with this eyeshadow, I feel like it's so good. It's one of those mascaras that, like, the more I use it, the more I love it. So you guys can see here, I got drama from this. I got drama, but it's not a spidery, really heavy lash, but it's still really dramatic. So it's like, for me, it's perfect. I love it, and it also does not readily smudge on the eyes, which is obviously so important. And for the lips, I also found it was kind of strange. Like, the lip product picks I found to be kind of weird. One that I do have and is the Fenty Popsicle. Also, the gloss bombs were featured, which is like, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer. I don't know if this is really gonna go with this look though, but I don't think this one is any better. This is a product that I haven't even tried. I wanted to try it on with you guys. It's the Lust and Found lip gloss from Play. This is the shade Carmen. So I really love this packaging. So, oh, yeah, this doesn't go with my look at all. That is a very nostalgic scent, and I can't place where it's from. I don't know, when you're like 10 years old walking into a Yankee Candle with your mom. Not my favorite for the lips, honestly. I'm surprised though, I thought it was gonna be like really gritty. And it's actually not. But ultimately, I need to go with something else for the lips. I'm just going to use the Kosas Wet Lip Oil. And this is the shade Dip. Okay, you guys, and this is the completed look. And you know what? I gotta be honest here. This year, the Allure Best of Beauty picks, this is, I think, the most aligned I've ever been with Allure, because there were so many products that I absolutely love that were also featured. I don't know what that says, but I really enjoy so many of the products that are on my face right now. Again, there were a few products that I was like, oh, why are these being recommended? I forgot 2 products. Hold on. Okay, a product that was mentioned in the splurge section. Dyson Airwrap. A very hairy Dyson Airwrap over here. You guys, I'm still using this all the time. This is how I do my hair every day. For me, it is worth it. I really, really love it. I just find that my hair has never looked better. I know that Shark just recently came out with like a potential dupe for this. Do you guys want me to try it out? I mean, do I want to spend another $300 on essentially the same product? No, I would not like to do that. But if you guys promised to watch the video, then potentially I would do that. And then lastly, a product that I was really happy to see being mentioned was the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Advanced Clean Dry Shampoo. This is the best dry shampoo for very dirty hair. If you really need your hair to come back to life, to add that volume, it is very, very good. It never leaves a weird residue, and it adds a lot of volume without being a really heavy, powdery look in the hair. So that is definitely one that I agree with. Really love this one. I actually used it today for the bangs because the bangs were looking a little bit greasy, and I mean, look, they popped right back up to life. Okay, now that is the conclusion to the video. Thank you guys so much for being here. I can't wait to do my best of beauty. I feel like it's right around the corner. But anyway, thank you guys. I will leave everything I talked about today, as well as the Allure article down below for you guys. Thank you, and I will see you in my next one.